Today in the studio, I'm going to be working on this forest quilt. This quilt was sent to me by my client, Julie. I'm going to be doing some custom quilting on it today, but nothing too super dense. If you're finding any value in my videos, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, if you feel like buying me a coffee, you can find that link in the description below. Let's go stitch. If you want to skip around this video, there are timestamps below in the tracking bar. After a consultation with Julie, we decided to custom quilt this quilt. But there was no need to break the bank with an outrageous amount of quilting. So my plan was to add some ruler work, to ditch around her piecing, and then outline the animal blocks. Then I was going to add a loose, free motion filler for the background and a couple of other complementary designs that would add the right amount of complexity to this quilt, but stay within a reasonable budget for a children's quilt. I am using Glide 40-weight thread in the color Pearl and my favorite straight edge ruler, Rocket by Silly Moon Quilt Company. I doodled up a bunch of ideas for a fast background fill that wasn't my go-to pebbles or stipple, and I honestly thought this hook design would be the right fit. But this quilt was a little trickier than it appears with all the tight areas around the trees. By adding in that dot-to-dot echo around the trees, I really saved myself some tight corners, but still not enough, in my opinion, to make this design look good. So I picked it out. I then decided to move on and just do that tried and true stipple. But as I progressed across the row, I wasn't really loving the way it looked. The contrast was just a bit too much with the points of the trees, and the complexity wasn't there. So I picked it out. Finally, I settled on a derpy swirl. I thought this swirl might complement the tree blocks a bit better and add a little whimsy to the quilt. If you're wondering what a derpy swirl is, it's a cartoonish kind of swirl. It looks a little goofy. Remember, the lighting in my studio is calibrated to enhance the filming of the quilting, so this quilting doesn't really show up that much on the scrappy background in the true light of day. But it sure added the right amount of density and the texture I was going for. It is tight between these trees, so I try to move down one side of the space and back up the other, using echoes to fill it in as I move around. This quilt has 3 animal blocks, a deer, a bear, and a rabbit. For each block, I did a 1/4 inch outline around the animal just to separate it from that background fill. And then inside the animal, I did a wavy line traveling horizontally using a matching brown thread. As I progressed through the quilt, I put some pins in the trees. This isn't a very large quilt, so I decided to quilt the entire background, the animal blocks, and the stumps first. Then I came back to the trees later with a green thread. To add some detail to the trees, I decided to keep it simple with a large matchstick design. I do use a ruler when I'm doing this design, but you really don't have to. You could just free motion this, or you could even do a wavy line like I did in the animal blocks. Just because these designs are basic and beginner friendly doesn't make this quilt simple. I spent quite a lot of time making these design choices and putting effort into how this quilt was going to look. And in my opinion, this is a really great finish and suited the brief of this quilt. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.